Why are furries furries? Well, I've spent the better part over a year now extensively researching the topic and conversing with members prevalent inside of the community. And it's complicated. There's many different reasons why people enter the furry community, whether they were inspired by the diverse costumes and personas, or took a liking to an extra thick rabbit from Zootopia. They all come together to join a fun, accepting, sometimes a little too accepting, community. I've had very few interactions with furries in person. I remember when I was like 9 during the 4th of July when I saw my first furry. I initially presumed it was a mascot for a sports team, but soon more arrived. They began dancing and taking pictures with old people, and I'm not gonna lie, it freaked me out. One attempted to approach my family's group to see if we wanted photos, but me being the skittish little gremlin I was, I sprinted in the opposite direction for a mile. I made the most damning mistake of my life when I got home. I attempted to research furries for some clarity, and in doing so, I may have formed a sort of stigmatism against them. But as I've matured and I've met plenty of more furries, I've discovered that the furry community is, by God, one of the most friendly communities out there. Like 90% of furries I've met are pretty chill people, with a surprising amount of them either being a computer major or an Air Force pilot. I've discovered that many members of the furry community love the idea of having a separate, cuddly persona. For example, this is Dave. Dave works 9 to 5 at one of the most important law firms in America. His job requires grueling hours and attention, which causes him major stress. But the moment he puts on the suit, he's no longer this working man persona. Instead, he can relax and express himself in no other way. He surrounds himself with very caring, like-minded individuals. So, to put it shortly, I believe for many it's a form of escapism. Of course, not all furries fall under this category. I imagine some of them just one-dimensionally love the creativity, and it's really not that deep. Furries have an incredibly creative community, with almost all of them having something called a fursona, which is an anthropomorphic animal which most of the time would represent the creator. So what's the lore for your fursona?
So like the backstory of how I made him, or like the what kind of lore are we looking at?
The shortest possible.
Died in the game.
Gonna
Call my friend, bro.
Virus ravaged the earth, causing humans to turn into anthropomorphic animals. Then we got
8 times?
Char is a guy who makes computers, and he is making a device that can reset the timeline so that people don't turn into animals. But the big markets are against him because they're selling medication.
And these fursonas got lore. I mean, there's usually a lot of thought put into these, and I respect the grind. Now, like any community, you've got your bad apples. But in such a unique and creative community, there's gonna be a bunch of unique and creative stuff. Dude, what the actual fuck am I looking at? What is— Don't even get me started on furry Twitter. During my research for this video, I've inadvertently stumbled across some of the most heinous shit I've ever seen. A lot of furries I've talked to online have told me that the furries who yiff, paw off, sling rocket is close to 1/4 of the community, which seems a little disingenuous, I'm not gonna lie. Even though the sexual nature of this community is as prevalent as it simply does not define it entirely. And to show you my support for the community, here's my fursona. His name is Xander. What you should take away from my video is that furries are very unique. Sure, you got your weirdos, but a vast majority of them are pretty chill people. But when they're weird, they're pretty weird. Alright, thank you.
Hey fanboy, nice to meet you.